Well, my camera was very nice in getting a full card on me. So we have to come back and start where we left off. Now, I left off measuring the cut. Now I'm doing 9.5-inch squares. That's not actually quite right there. It's a little over the corner. You really do want to try for accuracy. A little bit off. I mean, it's a little bit off, and it could throw it off your things a slight bit. If it's not too bad, I don't know. I haven't had that much of a problem with it. Now, got my little cutter, and again, I'll start in the middle. Where I'm cutting through several layers, I like to kind of repeat it. I'm pressing a fair amount of pressure on my thing, and I want to make sure it got pulled off. It did. Now, I can rip that up. Let me check and see if it... Carefully. Okay. So now, after you cut the strips, you have these beautiful things. Are they in focus, sweetie? Okay. Lay that there. I'm going to just leave this here and take the ruler. Now I already know, I think it's at 19, but it's always good, like they say, measure once, cut twice. So another square would again be at 19. So I don't need to slide this over and rematch up the lines. It's just much easier to come here and put it on the 19. And then make sure it's straight on this line up here. Give it a bit of pressure so you make sure the fabric is kind of sitting where you want it. And again, start cutting in the middle. Back and forth. And it is, oh, my hand has slipped. I'll put my blade in the hole and kind of line it back up. Measure it to that 19 line. Good. You can put your hand on the fabric like I'm doing right there. Nice slow moves. Okay. So there's another row. Now, I'm going to proceed to cut these rows, but let me show you what we're going to do to get our little checkerboard. You see, there's a black, and the pattern follows. So I'm going to start with white. And this. Okay. Oh. We're going to hold it steady that way. Now I'm going to show you, nice and steady, I'm going to show you, I've done one row, and I alternated the colors that the row begins with. I started with black, and then I did white, and I faced the front of the fabric together. Look at that, I just noticed this side's a little longer. Oh, well, see, I told you, I don't think it's a big deal. We'll hope not. Anyhow, I sewed all the way down, and when I open it, I get that lovely pattern that we talked about. And yeah, see, I wasn't careful. Did it mess up my whole thing? Why, yes, it messed up my whole row. See, that's why it's important to be careful, boys and girls. But I'm sure I'll make do with it. Let me show you what I've got going on here. I was more careful on this row. Do not cut the fabric, little one-year-old. Thank you. My one-year-old likes to help. So we have to get scissors from him a lot. Now, right here, my fabric is about a 1/16 of an inch off. It's about the black overlaps, and that's partly, you guys stop, honey. That's partly because it's a stretchy fabric. So what I'm going to do here, if it bothers you and you want it to be right on the line, just mute your thing for a minute, is you'll put it on the line where you want it. You'll even up this edge, and you'll see how it kind of gathers there. I'm going to sew that gather into the thing. Yes, it will be a little gathered on your quilt or your chessboard that you're making. Just try to do this. Stop that, little love. And I will sew. And now, oh, he's tired. Now I'm going to match that up. See, that matches up quite nicely. If it didn't, though, I would do the same thing. I would do the gathering technique. Now I'm getting a little careless, and I've been kind of letting the black overlap. They should be perfectly aligned on that edge. Can you see that? Okay. He's actually hitting his terrible twos. And so he's getting a little bit determined. Just a moment, late baby. I'm almost finishing this. Now I'm going to do this for another 4 rows. Now I told you there's 2 techniques. I told you can just keep adding on row by row. Or you can, I didn't press the cut, but it's not good to press the cutter button unless it's in fabric. Otherwise it can damage your machine. So now when I open this, get another checkerboard. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I've done a row like this. I could add on another one that starts with black so it folds open, or I can just do, I can come and add this. Now make sure the front is facing. So when you open it, you want to make sure you're going to sew on the right seam. You're going to get that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make another 2 of these and sew them together like I'm going to do here, and then I'm going to sew the last one together. And I'll show you that when I get, well, you've seen it. We'll show you the finished quilt probably will be my next step. Thank you for joining us, and please make sure to click like and leave a comment or question that you might have. I don't know it all, but I'm sure willing to try to help. Thanks. Goodbye.